Talk as well as listen. Conversation should not be one-sided. Each person should have a turn to give and receive. The true art of conversation is to talk as well as listen. Scenario 1. One fine day, John Mayers was resting at his house reading a novel. He then heard a knock on the door and the doorbell rang. It was Leela Chandran, his colleague at office. She had come to visit him that evening and to have a long chat with John.
So John, what have you been doing all day?
I've been reading the book The Chronicles of Narnia. Have you read the book, Leela? It's a fantastic book. It's a story about 4 kids in the imaginary land of Narnia. Do you know that the White Witch in the book plots to kill all the children?
Yes, John,
And the actual king is Asian. Do you know who Asian is, Leela?
The lion.
And the plot ends with... Leela gets bored and irritated, thinking that all John can do is talk, talk and talk. She leaves early in a frustrated state. Scenario 2. One fine day, John Mayers was resting at his house reading a novel. He then heard a knock on the door and the doorbell rang. It was Leela Chandran, his colleague at office. She had come to visit him that evening and to have a long chat with John. John.
So John, what have you been doing all day?
I've been reading the book The Chronicles of Narnia. Have you read the book, Leela?
Yes, I have, John, and it's a lovely book.
So who do you like the most in the book?
I like Asian, the Lion King.
I agree. He seems to be really a king at heart, that he tries to sacrifice himself for the sake of his people.
I almost wept when I watched that in the movie.
Oh, is that a movie made based on this book, Leela?
Yes, John, and it is a good one. You should not miss it.
Let's go and get the DVD and watch it now. Do you want to watch the movie again?
I'd love to, John. Let's go.
The conversation went on really well, and the evening was spent wise. Leela was happy that she had come to meet John that day, and they both watched the movie together. Conclusion. Essentially, converse means the other side. So if you are to carry on a monologue, a mirror will suffice. Keeping the cycle of give and take in mind, even in a conversation, it will keep it moving. Here are a few tips. Allow others to talk. Respect the other person's point of view. Concentrate on the conversation. Thinking about what you want to say rather than actually listening to others will cause you to miss vital information. Help individuals resolve their problems with patient listening. Believe in your message. First of all, you should believe in your message because this is the root of all successful communication. When you passionately believe in your message, your verbal and non-verbal communications will flow freely with confidence and enthusiasm. Scenario 1. Rita appeared for an interview where her speaking skills were being tested. Hi, Rita.
Hello, sir.
Now, why do you think you deserve this job?
Well, sir, I understand your concern, but let me tell you that I can speak very well. I'm confident and I believe in myself.
Rita was trying to convince the interviewer and herself that she is suited for the job. Scenario 2. Rita appeared for an interview where her speaking skills were being tested. Hi, Rita.
Hello, sir.
Why do you think you deserve this job?
I deserve this job because I will excel as a calling executive in this company.
Conclusion. Rita was convinced of her own skills, and so confident was she that the interviewer started questioning the conclusion he had arrived at. Here are a few tips. Speak with confidence and conviction. Allow your feelings to flow naturally. Your delivery, body language and voice will respond appropriately. Show your enthusiasm, but be yourself. Adopt your own style. People like originality. Avoid faking it or pretending. You will risk losing your credibility. Repeat key points. Repeating of key words reinforces the speaker's main points and helps in retaining the listeners. Scenario 1. Ganesh is a salesman working for a US credit card company. Ganesh meets a prospective customer, Mrs. Thomas Simons, who is interested in applying for a US Platinum credit card. Mrs. Simons has an existing credit card with another bank. She also has an outstanding balance in her existing card, and she likes to travel. Hello, Mrs. Simons. How are you doing this fine morning?
Hi, Ganesh. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. What can I do for you?
I understand that you are interested in a credit card, Mrs. Simons.
I'm not very sure if I'm Ganesh. I already have one.
Let me give you some information on the benefits with this card, Mrs. Simons. The card offers you insurance. It offers you travel points when you travel. The card offers you balance transfers also, Mrs. Simon. You also have baggage insurance on this card for free.
I'm not still sure that I want the card, Ganesh. I will need to think about it for a few days.
Okay, Mrs. Simons. Scenario 2. Ganesh is a salesman working for a US credit card company. Ganesh meets a prospective customer, Mrs. Thomas Simons, who is interested in applying for a US Platinum credit card. Mrs. Simons has an existing credit card with another bank. She also has an outstanding balance on her existing card, and she likes to travel. Hello, Mrs. Simons. How are you doing this fine morning?
Hi Ganesh, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. What can I do for you?
I understand that you are interested in a credit card, Mrs. Simons.
I'm not very sure if I'm Ganesh. I already have one.
The card offers you insurance. It offers you travel points when you travel. The card offers you balance transfers also, Mrs. Simons.
I'm not still sure that I want the card, Ganesh.
Mrs. Simons, like I mentioned before, this card has a balance transfer facility, and you can use it to transfer the balance from your existing credit card into the new card at a lower interest of payment. Whenever you travel, you can accumulate travel points on this card that you could exchange for tickets the next time.
That would be excellent news, Ganesh. I would like to apply for the card.
Conclusion. Ever heard of a successful salesperson and how he keeps stressing and repeating the keywords in the sales talk? More often than not, those are which catch our attention and make his sale. Here are a few tips. Identify your major points. Repeat often. Rephrase all major points as needed in different ways throughout your conversation to re-emphasize. Diplomatically ask your listener for feedback. Ask questions which would indicate the listener understands your main points.